Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm Johannes and this is part 2 of our course obviously, and this one is about our core pillars of coach philosophy. And just before we jump into it, I want to give you some short perspective of my whereabouts. And I have been in the health and fitness industry for over 2 decades by now. And for the last 6 years, I have been self-employed, working full-time as a coach, and currently I am at 3 different facilities, yes. Most of the time I spend at CrossFit in Linné. Right, so let's jump into it, shall we? Now, my first pillar in the leadership and coach philosophy is that we need to have an interest to learn and develop as coaches. And this is, I would say, twofold. The one part is that we, obviously, I would argue that we need to stay ahead of the curve, but this in return also gives us a possibility to strengthen our relationship with our athletes, since they will notice that we truly care about them and we want to use our knowledge to give more back to them. I would also say that by being curious by nature, hopefully, we can have an easier time to bounce back from various setbacks. So instead of counting the bumps and bruises on the way or playing the blame game, we can have a different perspective and see, okay, what went wrong and how do I solve this problem so I can avoid it for the future. Right, my second pillar is that we have to be genuine, and I mean genuine by heart here. And if we achieve that, we can also take responsibility. And also now I'm talking about a full responsibility, because it's easy to say that you're going to take responsibility, but actually doing it is something else. And if you manage to actually take responsibility, you also own the responsibility, which I think is very important. And we can bring up the discussion here about various roles as well. So at home you have one role, at work you have another, and at the party, well, let's not go there. But what I want to say here is that I think that as a coach, you truly have to live your role. And by that I mean that you have to live by your identity. It's being a coach isn't something that you swap at the phone booth together with Superman. You really have to live your role. Otherwise you will waste energy, in my opinion, trying to be someone that you aren't. Okay, and my final and third pillar is that we should settle with good. There is a tendency among both professional athletes and professional coaches to try to achieve the impossible, if you will. And I would argue that perfection isn't viable. And well, as we know, perfection is unattainable as well. But there is another important step to take, and that is to try to excel at your strengths instead. We all know that the devil is in the details, and as well, we know that perfect is the enemy of good. So work with your strengths and try to excel with them instead. There are numerous sports stars out there. We can take, let's take David Beckham, for example. During his prime years, he probably had the best right foot in the world, right? But it wasn't perfect, I would argue. Okay, that sums up this episode, guys. I think that by nature we are curious, and if we allow ourselves to be curious, we can be our true self and we can follow our own compass, if you will. And from that, obviously, I hope we can thrive. Also, there is a saying that I think it's important that the mind is the athlete, but the body is simply the means. And by this I mean that you can train the body as much as possible, right? You can stay 7 days in the gym and push your limits, and eventually your body will say that, okay, I can't do this anymore. But working with the mind is more or less limitless. Okay guys, thank you for watching. please comment on this video and I will reply to your videos with a comment as well. Johannes signing out.